Welcome back to the Hellfire Book Club. I'm your host, Ignis Blackwood. Today we're diving into a book that's been making waves in the horror and gothic fiction community. It's Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, a spine-chilling tale set in 1950s Mexico. So grab your tea, settle in, and let's get started. Mexican Gothic is a haunting, atmospheric novel that blends elements of traditional Gothic horror with the rich cultural backdrop of Mexico. Before we get into our thoughts about this book, let's give you a brief overview of what the story is all about. Mexican Gothic was published in 2020 and has quickly become a bestseller. The author, Silvia Moreno-Garcia, is known for her ability to blend genres and create vivid, engaging worlds. She's a Mexican-Canadian author who has written in various genres including fantasy, horror, and noir. This novel, however, is a Gothic horror, and it's no surprise it's captivated so many readers. The book draws on the Gothic tradition, but with a refreshing twist. It's set in Mexico, and the story follows Noemi Taboada, a glamorous socialite who is sent to a mysterious and decrepit mansion called High Place to check on her cousin, Catalina. Catalina has sent a strange letter claiming her husband is poisoning her, and naturally Noemi's father is concerned. What she finds when she arrives is much more terrifying than she could have ever imagined. The plot of Mexican Gothic is beautifully paced. It starts with Noemi leaving her glamorous life in Mexico City to visit her cousin in the countryside. What begins as a somewhat reluctant visit quickly spirals into a nightmarish journey. The mansion, High Place, is almost a character in itself, dark, decaying, and filled with secrets. The atmosphere is one of the book's biggest strengths. The isolation of the mansion, the eerie fog that surrounds it, and the sinister family that lives there. All of this sets up a sense of dread that doesn't let up. Moreno-Garcia does an excellent job of building tension throughout the book, and the pacing is spot on. It is a slow burn, but it pays off in a big way at the end. Now, let's talk about the characters. Noemi Taboada is a fascinating protagonist. She's not your typical Gothic heroine. She's headstrong, fashionable, and not easily intimidated. Throughout the book, we see her growth as she transitions from a somewhat superficial socialite to a determined woman willing to face unimaginable horrors to save her cousin. And speaking of her cousin, Catalina, she's the catalyst for the whole story. Initially, she seems like the classic damsel in distress, but there's more to her character. Her descent into madness, or what seems like madness, adds a lot of suspense. And then there's Virgil Doyle, Catalina's husband, who is as creepy as they come. His control over Catalina and the house's other inhabitants is deeply unsettling and disturbing. The book touches on several heavy themes like colonization, eugenics, and the exploitation of indigenous peoples. These themes are woven into the story without feeling heavy-handed, and they add layers to the horror. The Doyle family's obsession with purity and bloodlines is particularly disturbing, especially as it's revealed how deep this obsession goes. The theme of isolation is very strong, not just physical isolation, but emotional and psychological as well. Noemi is cut off from her world, and even though she's surrounded by people at High Place, she's utterly alone. This isolation amplifies the horror and adds to the sense of helplessness. Silvia Moreno-Garcia's writing style is lush and descriptive. She paints vivid pictures with her words, which is perfect for a Gothic novel. The tone of the book is consistently dark and eerie, but there's also a sense of mystery that keeps you turning the pages. Her use of language is really expressive. It's both beautiful and haunting. The tone shifts as the story progresses, from the almost glamorous beginning to the deeply unsettling claustrophobic atmosphere of High Place. You really feel the dread that Noemi feels, and that is a testament to Moreno-Garcia's skill as a writer. Now, while there's a lot to love about Mexican Gothic, it's not without its flaws. Some readers might find the pacing a bit slow, especially in the first half of the book. It's a slow build, and if you're not a fan of that kind of pacing, it might not be for you. However, I think the slow pacing works in favor of the story. It allows the tension to build and makes the climax that much more impactful. Another point of critique could be that the ending, while satisfying, might feel a bit rushed compared to the rest of the book. The book is so meticulously crafted that the final revelations come fast and furious, which might leave some readers wanting a bit more time to process everything. Overall, Mexican Gothic is a masterfully crafted novel that will appeal to fans of Gothic horror and anyone looking for a chilling, atmospheric read. The setting, characters, and themes all come together to create a story that's as thought-provoking as it is terrifying. If you enjoy horror with depth and nuance, Mexican Gothic is definitely worth your time. It's a book that stays with you long after you've turned the last page. Thank you for tuning in to the Hellfire Book Club. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment or send us your feedback. And if you have any book suggestions for future episodes, please let us know. Your support helps us bring you more intriguing content. Until next time, keep reading and stay scared.